Good morning students, I welcome you all for the online class of economics. Today we will be going to continue with the foreign exchange rate chapter only. As I already said, I will be revising that chapter once again for you. As this chapter also will be coming in the part of term 1. In open economics, two chapters are there. One is the foreign exchange rate, which is given at the later part. And the another is a government budget. So these two chapters will be coming in open economics. So for that we have to refer this both the chapter in that particular part. So let us proceed with this chapter, foreign exchange rate. As I already started, in this topic also I completed. Components of demand for foreign exchange, foreign currency. Why is foreign exchange demanded? If we want to know why it is demanded, why foreign exchange is compulsory for every country. The reason behind that are as follows. It is very much needed because when we say about international peace and business, definitely what is needed? Foreign exchange is needed. So foreign exchange is demanded for various purposes. Basically it is demanded for payments abroad. Broadly we make the following types of payment to rest of the world. International trade, when we have started, that time it find the need of foreign trade, foreign exchange, because as we know every country's currency is different. Every country's government rules are different. So with the government rules implementation and compilation, same way foreign currency also has to be foreign reserves also has to be exchanged in a domestic currency. For that foreign exchange system had been prevailed by the constitution. So foreign exchange, let us see. Very first need is repayment of international loans. Students, when we take the loan from foreign countries, definitely it must be paid in the foreign currency only. And that loan which we are taking from international business, definitely that is not in our currency and it cannot be utilized in our country. It must be converted into our country's currency. And for that we have find that foreign exchange is needed. So international loans are raised in terms of foreign currency. Accordingly, foreign currency is required for the repayment of these loans. In less developed countries like India, this is an important component of demand for foreign exchange. Next is foreign investment. When we talk foreign investment, students, investment in rest of the world is an important business activity. We need currency of the country in which investment has to be done. Thus, US dollars are demanded if investment is to be done in India, in United States of America. Imports. Definitely imports means when we purchase the goods from foreign country. That foreigners business, they want the payment of the goods must be done in their currency. So for that also what is needed? Foreign exchange is needed. So for import of the goods also what is needed? Foreign exchange is needed. That currency of one country must be converted into another country's currency from where we are purchasing the goods. So we import goods like cell phones and TVs and services like of banking and insurance from rest of the world. It requires foreign exchange because payment for imports are made in foreign exchange only. Direct purchases abroad. Foreign exchange is needed to make direct purchases of goods and services abroad because people from our country visit our other countries of the world as tourists. They also go abroad for studies or for medical treatment. This involves direct purchases abroad. So direct purchases abroad is very easy, student. Direct purchases, if we want to purchase the things from abroad, like when we visited some historical places of other countries, definitely therefore visiting there and for tickets and everything, what is needed? We need the foreign currency. For that purpose also we need the foreign exchange to be done. Grants and donations. International level, when grants and donations are done, they are also required that foreign currency, as it is unilateral payment, means one-sided. In reverse, the people don't want anything. But the thing is that whichever country international level they are doing the donations and grants, there the currency must work, and for that exchange has to be done because foreign currency will not work here, as I already introduced to you. So for that reasons, what is there? These grants and donations of a country are often made in terms of the currency of that country, except or in terms of some internationally accepted currency like US dollars. Payment of income student. Demand for foreign exchange in the domestic economy also rises for the payment of factor incomes like rent, interest, profit, dividend, and wages, which are repatriated abroad. It is like factor incomes to rest of the world. Speculative trading. Definitely student, foreign exchange, particularly in terms of strong currencies like US dollar, is held and demanded by the people for purpose of speculative tradings. Speculative tradings are those tradings which is done for earning profit motive. Often more foreign exchange is held when the exchange rate is low and vice versa. Together, these components of demand add up to aggregate demand for foreign exchange. In the international money market, demand for foreign exchange is inversely related to the price of foreign exchange, as indicated by a downward sloping demand curve for foreign exchange. Demand extends when exchange rate falls and demand contracts when exchange rate rises. A shift in demand curve occurs when any of the component of demand shows a rise or fall at the existing rate of exchange. Now we comes to the components of supply of foreign exchange. Foreign currency or sources of foreign exchange. Supply of foreign exchange depends on the following sources students. Each source constitutes a component of supply of foreign exchange. A country receives foreign exchange through the following source of supply. Exports, very first component of supply. Export of goods and services is an important source of supply inflow of foreign exchange from rest of the world. Thus, export of goods and services from India to US, United States would mean only supply of foreign exchange to India in terms of receipts for export. Supply, it is that time demand component was there, now it has supply component is there. So foreign exchange, when it will be supplied to our country, how we want it to be in Indian currency, not in the international currency. Investment from rest of the world, if we want to be done in our country, definitely that supply we require to be in our currency. So this is also an important factor. When we demand investment from rest of the world, lots of foreign exchange flows from developed countries to underdeveloped countries like India through this channel of economic activity. Direct purchases by rest of the world. Direct purchases by the resident of rest of the world also contribute to the flow of foreign exchange from rest of the world to the domestic economy. Loans from rest of the world. It refers to borrowings from rest of the world. A loan from UK would mean flow of UK pound from UK to India. It contributes to the supply of foreign exchange to India. So loans from rest of the world, if we want to get, definitely that supply also we want to be done in the foreign exchange rate. So borrowing from rest of the world must be done in our currency, not in the foreign currency. But when it is given from foreign country, definitely it will be the foreign currency. So our central bank will convert that foreign exchange into Indian currency, and that reserve will be deposited in the central banks. Grants and donation from rest of the world. When we are getting when there is a supply of grants and donation, there the demand was there, it was outflow, now inflow is there. So grants and donation from rest of the world are also a source of supply of foreign exchange. A significant amount of foreign exchange flows from rich to the poor countries of the world by way of grants and donations. Income receipts. Foreign exchange also flows from the rest of the world to the domestic economy by way of income receipts. These receipts refer to receipts of factor income from rest of the world. Remittance by the non-residents. Remittance, we want some discounts, offers, remitted of the fees. We want clearance. Then that remittance by the NRIs are an important source of supply receipt of foreign exchange from rest of the world. Such remittance are indeed a significant component of supply of foreign exchange in developing countries like India. Together, these components of supply add up to the aggregate supply of foreign exchange. In the international money market, supply of foreign exchange is positively related to the price of foreign exchange or the rate of foreign exchange as indicated by an upward sloping supply curve of foreign exchange. Supply extends when the rate of exchange rises and it contracts when the rate of exchange falls. A shift in supply curve occurs when any of the component of supply of foreign exchange shows a rise or fall in the existing rate of exchange. Why is flexible rate of exchange called free rate of exchange, students? That is a very important question. Flexible rate of exchange is called free rate of exchange as it is freely determined by the forces of supply and demand in the international money market. That's why it is known as free rate of exchange. Flexible means as it can be adjusted between the countries as per the good terms and conditions what they are having. So with one country it will be different and another country it will be different, and maybe in different situations pros and cons it can be changed. So that's why it is known as flexible rate of exchange is known as free rate of exchange. State any two factors that explain extension of demand for a foreign currency in response to a fall in its price in terms of the domestic currency. When foreign currency, say US dollar, become cheaper in relation to the domestic currency, we get more dollars per unit of our currency. Accordingly, imports become lucrative. This raises demand for foreign currency. Definitely, student, a country's development and underdeveloped countries and developed countries may require more and more foreign reserves. Why? Because that foreign currency is having more value as compared to our country's value. In a future period of time, that currency value will further more increase, and that time we can make the resale of that foreign currency, and in that way we can get more of the more investment in our country. So that is the good point. So that is the factor why we need extension of demand for a foreign currency is there. When foreign currency becomes cheaper and purchasing power of domestic currency increases. In the international money market, domestic investors will be induced to make greater investment in the rest of the world. That time this foreign reserve what they are having, they can deposit, they can make an investment and they can get on easy terms the particular investment from the foreign countries. So these are the basic two factors why we require in response to fall in its price when the domestic currency, in terms of the domestic currency, the foreign reserves are used. As we know, domestic currency value is very less as compared to foreign currency, but in some of the situation when its value, when we see foreign currency value is going down, that time we can our currency value with that our currency value more investment we can do in the foreign countries, and there are so many benefits regarding these investments. State any two factors that explain contraction of supply of foreign currency when its price in terms of domestic currency falls. When foreign currency becomes cheaper in relation to domestic currency, purchasing power of the foreign currency in the domestic currency tends to reduce. This causes a reduction in export from the domestic economy. Accordingly, supply of foreign currency reduces. When foreign currency becomes cheaper in relation to domestic currency and its purchasing power reduces in the domestic market, foreigners are less inclined to make foreign direct investment. Accordingly, supply of foreign currency reduces. So these are the basic two factors, student. When contraction of supply of foreign currency we can see. When foreign currency becomes cheaper, once again I want to repeat, when foreign currency becomes cheaper, has in some of the situations only it happens, not every time, then purchasing power of the foreign currency in the domestic economy tends to reduce because they are in a big loss. That time they will stop demanding the goods from the domestic countries. This causes a reduction in export also from the domestic economy because they are not able. As we know, when our income will be less as compared to our expenditure, definitely we will stop doing expenditure. Same is the situation when the foreign currency's value will go down. Definitely foreigners will stop demanding the goods from the domestic country, and that time the export of the domestic country can get affected. And when foreign currency becomes cheaper in relation to domestic currency, another thing also happened is purchasing power reduces in the domestic market. Foreigners are less inclined to make foreign direct investment. That time they will stop doing investment in the domestic currency. Means like India, like country, they will be doing stop the investment, because definitely when the good income is not there, people will stop doing investments. Next comes, students, how does appreciation and depreciation of currency affect exports and imports? Appreciation of the currency implies that less rupees are required to buy a dollar, or that a dollar cannot buy goods worth lesser rupees than before. Accordingly, exports are likely to take a hit. On the other hand, imports are likely to increase. Depreciation of the currency implies that more rupees are required to buy a dollar, or that a dollar can now buy goods worth more rupees than before. Accordingly, exports are expected to increase while imports will take a hit. It means it is a situation, see here, has I process to with the income and expenditure process to you. When definitely our income is good, we can export, we can import the goods. But when our income is less as compared to the foreign currency, we cannot import the goods. We will stop importing. We will try to export more so that our income will raise. Same is the situation of the appreciation of the currency, depreciation of the currency. And appreciation of the currency, when our values are more, definitely we will exports are will be hit and imports will increase. So these are the situations, student. Appreciation, depreciation. May I think if you will be learning, it will be good for you for attempting the every type of MCQ pattern questions. Now in the next class we will be going to learn more appreciation and depreciation type questions, plus we will be going to learn merits and demerits of flexible exchange rate system, and also we will be going to learn the last topic which is very important, manage floating. Thank you for today's class. Have a nice day.